Hey guys, you are listening to Let's Pause with Nue.
And your girl Lola. So we're going to be talking about all things love, life, right through to entrepreneurship and popular culture.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Pause.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm good. How are you doing? What's been happening?
Yeah, all good actually. Just busy, working. And you know what? It's like the more I work, the more money I just don't have. So I'm not getting it. I'm not actually understanding what's happening. So I'm working, and still I know they see money. So I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think it's the story of our lives, isn't it? We work so hard, but we're not enjoying those dollars or pound signs.
Exactly. That's why our guest today is even more extra special. We have Nathalie Noisette, and yes. She is a financial strategist on a mission to help shift our approach to money. She is the founder of Credit Conversion, host of Mental Money, author of Converted, Uncover the Hidden Strategies You Need to Easily Achieve Massive Credit Score Success, and several children's books. As a strategist, she has revolutionized the way we confront our money. And you know what, guys? When you listen closely today, you're going to walk away educated and empowered.
Yeah.
Natalie, thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Your bio is awesome. Do you know what? Money, it seems that's all everyone thinks about, isn't it? We wake up, we want to make money. I need to, you try and save it. The more you try and hold on to it is the more you find it, disappearing on bills and things like that. Exactly. So today's topic, we just really want to, just talk about, how we can transform our money mindset and just shift our way of thinking, of the way we think and approach money.
For sure. Yeah. So it's funny you say that. People think about it all the time, but then it's the thing that we talk about the least.
I know.
So true.
Right. So I think the first piece that we should attack is conversations around money. Why don't we talk about money? Why is it still so taboo? Why is it that our parents don't teach us enough about it, or we don't get taught in school about money? Like, why? I think the first piece for sure to unpacking and unraveling our ideas around money and like how our limiting beliefs around money impact our everyday life is really assessing why we don't talk about it.
Why don't we talk about it?
Right. No,
Yeah,
okay, so let's chat. You guys are friends or maybe relatives, right? How do you guys ever communicate about money?
All the time. We're broke.
We need money.
Okay.
That's the
conversation we're having. Like, we need money. How can we make money?
Right.
Exactly. How can we make money?
Okay, perfect. That's great that you guys are having those conversations, because you'd be surprised. There are groups of friends or there are people who just are not having those conversations. Like they will suffer in silence. So you guys already have the leg up as far and the advantage of understanding that there is a need there. And then once you've acknowledged that that need is present, it will raise your awareness to look for opportunities where you can make money. For example, you guys can leverage your podcast. If you are diligent about growing your podcast to a place where, you're getting subscribers, you're getting listeners, you're getting people engaged, this is an avenue for you to make so much money. And as a strategist, my job is not to teach people necessarily about money as much as it is for people to see how certain problems can become profit, right? Because a lot of our things are complaining about how we don't have enough, right? No shade, no tea, ladies. But a lot of the opportunities are missed because we don't understand that our problems are profit. Every single thing that you are experiencing right now, someone either thought it was a problem or perceived it as a problem or made it believed to be a problem, right? There's some things that we don't even really need, but we frame it as a problem and they profit because they sold it to us. So my job again as a strategist is to help you really shift how you look at your problems. And then once you reframe your problems, you can see where these opportunities and little nuggets are lying, right? If, for example, your demographic is women, women have a slew of issues. Your podcast addresses those issues. Not only can you monetize through like brand partnerships, you can monetize by affiliate links, you can monetize through engagement, you know, how you frame your unique selling proposition. But then every single guest that you communicate with, assuming they align with your podcast, you guys can monetize by offering them something on the back end, like a consulting service. If I was interested, for example, in starting a podcast, how could you guys help me grow your podcast, my podcast, to where your podcast could be where you guys are leveraging your podcast? So there's so many ways and so many different opportunities to just grab people in based on their problems. Have a conversation with people, connect. What are you dealing with right now? What are you working on right now? Why don't you have enough money? Maybe it's a budgetary issue. Let me help you make more money. Let me, if I have a skill set that, and here's the thing about being an expert, right? I'm just going to start rambling at this point, but it's going to be about money.
Ramble away.
How we look at things, right? Yeah. So let's say I have a business. I'm talking to someone, I'm connecting with them. First step is to connect. Nobody wants to be sold to.
Yeah.
Don't want to be sold to. We already have enough messages and we already have enough, mind you, I'm about to give you thousands of dollars worth of consulting right now. Okay. I just want you to know that we don't want to be sold to. We don't want, to feel like we're a number or like just another person, a money grab that someone's going to go to. You have to connect, right? And this goes back to what I was going to say before, as far as the expert piece. If you have a skill, if you have a degree, you should be using that degree to consult. You have an expertise that someone can pay you for.
Yeah.
You might not think it's something important. That's a whole nother issue and a whole nother thing to tackle, right? You got to unpack that. Maybe a therapist, maybe a coach, whatever. But you have this expertise that someone will pay you for. Consult. Why not? And the thing is, we get in our own way because I'm not good enough. I don't know enough, but you just need to know a little bit more than that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know more and then be willing to grow your skill set. That's it. Right. So now you've connected. I'm an expert. I've deemed myself an expert. I have X amount of years of experience, or I have a particular skill set that can help someone solve one problem or multiple problems, whatever that is. And then I connect. So you see how all these things come together, right?
Yeah.
I'm connecting. How am I going to communicate to you that I understand what you're dealing with? Right? I can solve your problem. And third, and most important, that whatever I'm going to charge you for said problem that I understand very clearly is going to be, the cost is absolutely doesn't even matter compared to the value that you're going to be getting. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So if you cannot express your value, if you can't connect, maybe someone will get you. Maybe someone will be drawn to you. Maybe someone will align to you. But what I, as a strategist, hope is not part of my strategy. Don't like it. I like data, right? I want to know what's working, what's not working, how are we pivoting? So let's say, for example, my brand has grown so many times because I have to keep pivoting. And if you get emotion, and this is where the mental piece comes in, right? Because I did not pivot fast enough when I first started, because I would be emotionally tied to what I was doing versus understanding that I'm the problem now that I'm not solving, right? How do I now connect myself to the fact that I need to move forward versus trying to hold on to whatever I've invested, whatever I've put into this brand, whatever I've put into solving this perceived problem that nobody really wants a solution for, or I'm not expressing myself enough with, right? So one is to keep moving forward. It's a numbers game. Strategy is strategy. Strategy is numbers. Strategy is data. Strategy is key performance indicators. What am I doing? Is this working? Am I not? And it has to be very mechanical. It can't be emotional. And us women have a very hard time dealing with that, which is why we don't get paid enough. Because our money's tied to our value. Our money's tied to our worth. Our money's tied. I strongly believe, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we don't make enough because we don't believe we're enough.
Wow.
I know. It's a lot. And I'm not a therapist, so I can't help you unpack that. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that has a lot to do with it, right? And I want to say that the minute, not the second, not the day, not the hour, but the minute I realized, oh, wait, I just saved someone over a lifetime, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I only charged $300 for it. I'm undervaluing myself, but why don't I believe I'm worth more? Why can't I tell that client, oh no, this is worth $4,000. This is worth $5,000. If you want to work with me, you have to pay $5,000. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you have to pay $5,000. Why can't I say that? Because I didn't believe I was worth $5,000 at that time. I didn't believe because I found somebody else on Instagram who's charging $50 that had something to do with me. No. And if I'm walking into a room to this day, I promise you, I will not step foot in there for less than 10, period. But I'm worth it.
Wow. Yeah.
You understand? I know that the information I'm sharing is going to be valuable. I know that once you talk to me, your relationship with money is going to change. I know that once we have a conversation and we unpack what's going on strategically, how you're not, and I'm showing you where to look and not what to see, you're going to see differently. You understand?
Yeah. So, I agree with you.
When you look at all these pieces and you are able to connect, you're able to express your value, you're able to value yourself. Let's just add that in there. And then you're able to now close as far as making sure that the person understands that the value of what you're doing is not in the cost, it's in the value. You'll be able to make so much money. When I tell you, if you think of a number that you don't even think is attainable and then 2x that.
Yeah. Wow.
I
completely agree with you, because I remember a couple of years back, I think Lola must have told you about it, where I got a job in the pandemic. And I remember just not even negotiating my rate, because I just thought, oh, I've got a job and it's the pandemic. Why should I be asking for more? And it was only afterwards when I even said to Lola, oh my God, like how, sorry. And I remember Lola saying to me, like, no, you asked for more. Like, you know, you can't just accept the first number that is mentioned. But it was just, you know, like the times, it was all frightening. It was all, you know how it was. People were losing their jobs. People were put on furlough. And for me to get, obviously I lost a job, but I also gained a job. And I didn't negotiate. And it's only when I look back and I'm thinking, what was I doing? Did I not believe in who I am? Like I've got 15 years of experience in my field. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
And I kept beating myself up about that actually, because I was like, what?
It pains me so much to see women, and this could be whether you're a natural born woman or whether you identify as a woman, it doesn't matter. Honestly, some men struggle with it too. And I don't want to isolate just women, because this is a universal issue, but I see that women struggle with it more because of how we're socialized to be nice. We're socialized to be very agreeable, which is what nice means, but agreeable. And, you know, we're not supposed to be conflict oriented, and conflict doesn't necessarily mean something bad. It means anything that would cause a little bit of a disconnect between one thing or another, right? So between my objective and theirs, that would cause a conflict. So when I don't do it so much anymore now, unless it's maybe like someone I know who really needs the help, right? When I used to work with women as far as like negotiating their salaries, women don't ask for more because they just don't ask. It's not because it's not available. They just don't.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start there, right? Second thing is, when you go through the negotiation process, again, back to data, back to thinking like a strategist, right? What information, and you could use this too, Nue, for yourself, because you have 15 years of experience. If you're still in the same industry, even if you're pivoting, right? Whatever. If you have those years, those precious years, if you are, especially now in the market for a job, you are at an advantage. We're in the market where companies need employees, right? When you present, before you accept an offer and you're presented an offer, they're already equipped. They're already at war. right? They have your market value. They know how much you're worth in the market. They're going to undersell that because they're a company and they need to be able to make sure their bottom line is fat, right? So now you need to be able, and this is, even though you're not in the business position, you still need to be able to express your value. Hey, this is what I've done. These are my key performance indicators. This is how I've helped this company grow. And you should be keeping this data. You should be having performance reviews with your employers, right? And you should be keeping this data to see how your impact in the company is. And you leverage that for more money. If you're just starting out and you're just being presented an offer, you ask them, hey, what information did you use to come with this number?
Yeah.
And then you go back and you let them know, I'll think about it in so many words, right? I'll think about it. After I've conducted my own market research, I realized that the average rate for my expertise and, you know, the cost of my labor is X. And then you up that by 20, 30%. And then guess what? If they tell you no, then you find other roundabout ways to make more money. Or can you get comps? Can you get benefits? Can you get stock or equity? You know, find other ways to make up for the lack of initial funds that they're giving you, because there's money out there. They're just praying. They are praying and hoping and wishing that you don't know your value as a marketable employee in whatever industry it is that you're in. They're praying you don't. And as a woman, we fall prey to that all the time.
Yeah,
all
absolutely. The time. I think a lot of women, we all just need to like re-educate ourselves and understand. Okay, if when you know. We need to know what our worth is when we go, because I always negotiate. That's what New Age story, because I never take the final offer. I always go in there. And I learned this some years back, because a good friend of mine, he opened my eyes about how, you know, whenever he goes into a room as a man, he doesn't take the first thing that's on the table. He always goes in there, asks for something more than that. And he was like, you know, you can do that too. I'm like, yeah, but no, I can't. You know, I was always given one excuse or the other. But the moment I tried it, ever since then, I always never take the first offer that's been given to me. I always like, you know, but a lot of women don't feel comfortable doing that. I think it's also, as you said, you know, the emotions attached, the fears attached to it. There's various variables that's making a woman decide, you know what, I don't think I can do this, so whatever they give me, it's okay, I can live with it. But we really need to get women to understand more that, you know what, I need to re-educate myself about how I need, you know, my mind's change on what I think I can do with this, and why, you know, why I need to accept that this is not acceptable. We need to do something about that. And yeah.
But I think that so it was only that particular role. With all the other roles I had negotiated, but it was the time, you know, the sign of the times. It was that pandemic, that fear, like, oh my gosh. Because before, quite clearly, negotiated, brilliant, all the other, you know, jobs that I got. But it's just that fear in that pandemic, in that moment, thinking, do you know what, I better take it. And terrible. Never make decisions, fear-based decisions. They don't go well. They don't go well.
They don't. No, you're right. That's some great awareness. You made a decision based on fear, and I'm sure your employer is very happy that you did that. Truthfully, right? So I know this is a terrible reference, but there was a book I read, and excuse me if this is I'm not gonna curse, but can I like use slightly vulgar language?
Yeah, it's fine.
Go for it.
It's not curse word, but it could be people could take it offensively, perhaps. But I read a book a couple years ago, and it's a fictional story, but it's about like a pimp and a hoe. Call anybody a hoe, but that's literally what the phrases were in the book. And it just draws parallels between how we're either being pimped or we are the pimp in a situation. Don't be pimped. Don't be the hoe. Right? So you can come to a mutually beneficial agreement between your employer, between a contractor, between a vendor, whatever it works. Like, you just have to understand how to negotiate what the value of what you're bringing in is and what the value of what they're offering is, right? And once you draw that conclusion, you don't have to be at a disadvantage, especially if you're a woman, because most men make more just because they ask.
Yeah.
Nothing more. They're not more qualified. They're not smarter.
Exactly.
And then there's, I hope this pisses everyone, every woman that's listening to this. I hope this pisses you off. Okay. My intention in saying this is to make you angry to action, right?
Yeah.
There's a pink tax for everything. You are at a disadvantage if you have children and you're a mother and you're a mother in the workforce, right? They automatically assume that you're a less viable candidate. So you're at a disadvantage there. Get paid more for it. Why not? Products that you purchase in store, because it is marketed to women, there's an upsell for it. It's just charge more. So that pink tax on your entire life and your entire existence is exactly why you should pay more. I'm being charged more. I'm being looked over more. Ask for your value. Ask for your worth. Understand what that is, though, because I'm not saying if you have no skills and you have no marketability, go and, guns blazing. No, but if there is something, no, it's true, some people do. But if there is something
asking for millions, no.
You understand, but if there is something that you can communicate as far as your value in that particular situation, not your value as a person, but in context to that particular situation, make sure you're asking for your worth, or you're never going to get it. You're not, because they're hoping you don't ask.
Yeah. You know what? I think this is all what you shared with us today. I think it's a real eye-opener for a lot of people, a lot of women in general, about how we really need to change the way we think about money, our mindset, how we approach money, how how we value ourselves, and make sure that money, we're not driven by emotional things, but more about what's tangible, so we can get the best out of it. And I think what you've shared really is just really fantastic. I think a lot of people understand that they can't be doing things the way they used to do it anymore. And especially now things are so expensive. My God, I don't know about what it's in the US, but down here, bloody hell. No. Everything is literally triple price, not even 10%, literally. Everything has gone up by at least 150%. It's crazy. When I go and put fuel in my car, I'm like, before I used to drive around looking for the cheapest petrol. They're all the same. No one's competing with the petrol prices anymore. It's insane right now. I'm sure. Yeah, I think this is the time now more than ever that we need to really just, get ourselves together and just get on with it and just start looking at things differently when it comes to our money.
So walk me through, if you don't mind being open with your audience, what are some of your financial issues? Because I heard words like I'm broke, which I almost okay. We are working on our wealth. That's what we're doing. Okay. That's important, because yes, when you identify, when your goal becomes you, you're more likely to achieve it. So, let's reframe some of even the words that we're using. So, right, what are some of you guys' struggles, if you don't mind sharing, and let's strategize. Let's work through some of them and see how you could either pull back or scale up.
I think for me, I just want to clear my mortgage. That's my goal. I think the mortgage is a big, thing for me, where I'm at an age now where I don't want to be I want to retire within the next 5 years, so I need to I'm not a savings person. I'm more of an investment person. So I don't have a savings, but I tend to invest in various bits and pieces. So I think that for me, that's my plan. But how I need to get the wealth creation thing going is where I'm struggling with. I like the idea where you said about, using your skill set to develop it, kind of like on a consultancy basis. And that's, I think it's amazing. I think that is one good way to, to start creating more wealth. But I think that's, for me, that's just where I'm struggling. How can I create more wealth for myself so that I'm not in this rat race for too long, if that makes sense,
Right. So, that's a good point. And I just want to reframe things for what you said, so just we could look at things differently, right? You're not trying to build wealth right now. You're trying to eliminate a debt.
Yeah.
Two different goals, right? So unless you were going to pay off that debt to make more money, that would be what you leveraged, what you do to leverage that debt at that time, if you still have this mortgage. So forgive me for my ignorance, but does the UK housing purchase work somewhat similar to the one in the United States? So as far as like you purchasing a home at X, it has an interest rate of X, and then you pay every time you pay.
It's the same. It's the same.
That's right.
All the same.
Exactly the same.
So here's a question. Have you contacted your mortgage lender?
About what?
About how soon you can pay it down, what's left.
I know what's left, but it's whether I can make the money to make it, to clear it.
Exactly.
That's I know what's there, but it's how am I going to get there to clear that,
Right. Why don't you ask them exactly that?
Oh, right. Okay. So how much I should be. Okay. That makes sense, actually.
So because in here, since it's very similar in the US, 2 additional mortgage payments a year within the calendar year could reduce the number of payments that you have to make towards your home by over 3 years. 2 additional payments
in a month or in a year.
Within a year.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
You're getting ahead. You're getting ahead, depending on what your interest rate is. You're getting ahead of the interest. Right? Because your balance is based on what your interest rate is. I mean, you're right. What you owe is based on the interest.
Yeah.
So let's say you were to pay off the entire amount of your home today. It's minus what the interest would be over time.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So do the math. Remember, strategy, numbers, strategy. So what do I have to do right now to just get 2 extra payments? If your mortgage is $1,600, am I doing Instacart for 20 hours a month? Am I doing Uber for 20 hours a month? Am I getting a waitressing job for 20 hours a month to eliminate 3 to 4 years off my mortgage? Absolutely. Can I consult and charge someone $800? I take 2 additional clients. I have 2 additional hours out of my month, week, whatever, to make that extra mortgage payment. Cool. Let's do that. But you have to know the number. And then sometimes they have programs. You never know. The thing is, you don't know until you ask, right? They might just say, nope, you're stuck with us for another 15 years. Right. But then I promise you, I'm not being an idiot when I say this. Google is your friend.
I know.
No, for real. I Google everything.
I know.
Google the options available. How to pay down my mortgage in 10 years. How to pay down my mortgage quickly. And then just read through some articles, see what the options are, and then kind of go down the wormhole of, okay, is this an option available to me? Is this an option available to, my area or my neighborhood, or me as an ethnic woman, or me as a woman, or whatever the case may be? Work it out. Like find the options. Google is there for you.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Google is our best friend. But you know what, Natalie, it's been amazing. You've dropped some real gems here, and our listeners are going to be really pleased and empowered when they listen to this.
Absolutely. No, fantastic work, man. Fantastic. I think you've really got me thinking now. I need to get onto the phone.
Yeah, exactly. No, Google. Need to get on Google. But Natalie, how can people find you? Where can they look and find you and touch base?
I am Nat Noise. IAMNATNOISE, like the shorthand of my name, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So if you have primarily UK listeners, the credit piece won't really work for them, but the financial strategy, I'm always throwing gems on there, getting on live, and question answers. If there's resources that come out, I'll share them via the newsletter. So just talk to me. I'm here. This is what I do all day.
Love it. Love it.
Brilliant work. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Thank you.